DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, it is Thursday. I don't often make vlogs early in the morning on Thursday, so it's going to be a Thursday morning coffee vlog. Just finished doing my Spanish lessons, and I needed a break. I needed a break, and it's not too cold. What is it? It's like 17 degrees Celsius, so that's just nice. It's not cold, it's not hot, it's just nice. And it's going to go up to 29 today, so it's going to be rather warm. I was looking at the time earlier. What was it? It's like 8:20, and where I used to work, they had an old age habit. I say an old age habit is that they had a lady who would come on the floors with coffee and tea or whatever, and we would be served at our desks. So we didn't have to go to the coffee room. It's something that I don't think they do that anymore. And we were probably the only company at the time that did that. And it came from, I was going to say, a good and a bad habit. The idea behind it, the boss at the time didn't want us to go off to a coffee room, to the cafeteria or what, but that we would have our coffee at our desk. So in other words, we'd continue to work. So you see, there was that kind of incentive, to keep, I'll say it politely, incentive to keep you at working. But at the same time, there was this whole thing. It was an Italian woman who would come along, and she knew everything. What I mean is that by that is that if you wanted to know any of the gossip or what, she'd walk around, and depending on if it was somebody's birthday or just, if it was somebody's birthday or what, she'd tell us. Or usually in Switzerland, if it was somebody's birthday, you brought the cake. So we would get like I don't know, a croissant or something from someone. And so whenever she'd come, we'd be looking, because I was on the floor where the management was, and so we'd all kind of be looking, is she coming or not? And it was one of these open space offices. So like I say, it was a kind of a mixture between modern and ancient habits or something like that. The open space office in this case was not too, I think it was more a controlling tactic in this respect, where I was. Now, those of you who've worked in corporate businesses or what knew that, and I've gone through both. I've had shared offices, I've had a private office, I've had, at the last period of my life, had open space. And open space is losing favor. There was a time when open space offices were so-called meant to promulgate communication and stuff like that. Actually, the real reason behind it mostly was, saving space, money, basically. And we had little rooms for our private meetings or offices, which were always occupied. So it was a real pain. And like I was sitting next to the head of communications, and the marketing department was on my floor as well. So there'd always be noise and things going on. You basically had to learn how to work with people talking around you, working with noise, which is different to, sharing communication. Yeah, of course, if I did need something, I could just kind of like yell across the room to somebody. But do you do that? I mean, some did. But I mean, that's not what you want to do. I mean, that's not, like, if I needed something, I didn't want to share it with half of the world. Anyway, those of you who've worked in offices know about that. It's the same as when they started making these little cubicles or what, which basically you just had like a kind of a wall, a fake wall or a separator, between your office and another. That I never had, because we had real open space. Oh, anyway, yeah. But here I am, retired, I just sent off, before we started chatting, I sent off a WhatsApp message to one of my dear colleagues. It was a young man who was the age of my son, actually. I worked the last few years with him. And it was the last few years I was helping with the security stuff. And he was what you call a security engineer. So he's actually now a manager in another company. He's left where we were. But the thing is that we used to sit, so we had the office side one next to the other. And we would basically, yeah, no, I was just saying, I'm interrupting myself. Before I get into that, I was going to talk about the lady, the Italian lady, and how we would wait for her. But I just sent him a message right now, actually. That's what I was saying. See, old age, can't remember what I'm saying anymore. Too many things in my head. And I'd sent him a message just basically saying, I'm having my coffee on the deck, because I know he's actually working at his desk somewhere. And I said, I'm having my coffee on the deck, reminding myself of good memories when we were waiting for, her name was Anna Maria, when we were waiting for Anna Maria to come with our coffees. It was funny. There was an advantage when I was over there, because I was part of the management and so was my colleague. We basically would go down to the cafeteria and take coffee whenever we wanted, which was something that the normal people didn't do. We would create a reason to go down, like we'd have a meeting or something, but we would want to be away from the people. Actually, the funny thing is, you go down to the cafeteria and there would be pockets all around the cafeteria of people having these meetings where they were actually chatting about things. But one of the reasons to go down there would be to get away from your desk and to have your coffee in another environment. Yeah, every place that you work, and I've worked in a few, not that many actually, but I've been in different environments. So the coffee break, or the, whatever it's called, is a big factor, or I was going to say a big indicator of the health of the company. Very often, there were shows on television. I never really watched them, but they were called. It was a French show. Might have been the same thing in English. I don't know. It was called Camera Cafe, and it was a sketch, but it was like if people were at the coffee room, and you could see what was going on in the coffee room, and that was going to show the way it was. Like when I used to work in the pharma industry, on our floor, we had a really nice coffee machine and room, and everybody would come around 9, between 9 and 9:30. But the whole idea is that you had the people from the different labs, and they would chat. Now that was the whole thing, is depending on who was there, it would be an informal chat, about sports, family, stuff like that. And depending if it was the other bosses, well, they would talk about work. So of course, the staff was not very keen on that, because they wanted to have a bit of a, they just wanted to have a break. We had a boss. I had a boss like that always wanted us to go and have lunch together, the team. And basically, I used to hate it, because we would say, no, it's our lunch break. We are not going there to have a meeting over lunch, because that's all he wanted. So we managed to get out of it in a way is that we did it once a week. But he was really annoyed. I mean, I know that was one of the things he was annoyed with me about, because I like to have my own lunch break and not, over lunch, be at work, so to say. But that's not what he wanted. So of course he had his favorites, because they would always be together and chat. Yeah. Anyway, you tell me about your work experiences and your coffee break experiences, and that's it. Anyway, I'm going to continue drinking my coffee. I'm retired. So I'll be DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.